Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles in order to help people of all walks of life achieve their manifestation goals. My signature coaching program is unlike any other coaching program under the sun. True story. Why that is because I have done the research profusely and profoundly throughout the last 10 years of being a coach and composed this specific coaching program that is unlike any other coaching program out of my experience and out of the self work that I have done on myself some 15 years ago on my own, because like you, I was looking for a coach and I couldn't find one that resonated with me. And so all of this signature coaching program is the amalgamation of all the methods, of all the exercises, of all the teachings that will help you really skyrocket your manifestation game in conjunction with the energy work that I teach that nobody teaches on the internet, to such a degree that you will wonder why you ever struggled before. True story. Now, the receptivity and, the humility and being open to it, to a new idea, no matter how many years you've been trying to manifest, no matter how long you've worked on your manifestation, that's the part that really is necessary to come into my coaching and to really allow yourself, permit yourself, give yourself this permission to maybe entertain an idea that maybe you've been taught a lie up until now with all these other coaches and all these other teachers, that it's difficult. In other words, if you're under the impression right now that it's fucking difficult, it isn't that. It isn't that at all. It's a lie, and I will teach you the right way if you let me. It's very practical, things you can do every single day. A child can learn this. But essentially, what we do in coaching is process a lot of what I call drama, trauma, panorama. This is mandatory. Now, it isn't therapy, okay? So I want to forewarn people who are looking for a therapist. You need a therapist. This is coaching, okay? And I happen to be very well advanced as a coach. And in my coaching, you really need to be prepared to receive the truth, okay? By no stretch of anybody's imagination am I ever rude. I'm always very patient indeed and very understanding. But you really need to come in with the understanding that you need to be wide open and you need to be receptive. And those are the people that succeed in my coaching, which are 99% of the time. If you want to be in my coaching, you need to pre-book a 1-hour session first. We need to make sure we're on the same page and that we like each other, that we like working with each other. And by liking each other, I'm joking, of course, and I'm saying this because there needs to be a match. There needs to be a meeting of the minds. And sometimes I feel, once in a blue moon, but it happens that people misinterpret me delivering some kind of a quick fix. Now, in my signature program, for the 2 to 3 months dedicated to that, you will understand everything you need to understand. Some people, later on, maybe 6 months or 1 year down the line, book some touch-up sessions, and that's fine. But this is as quick a quick fix that you will ever get, and you do need to show up and you do need to do the work. This completely, kind of depends on you. I can show up with my tremendous ideas and my gold and my motivation and being supportive of you 100 zillion %. But are you supporting yourself, and are you really trying, or do you really just belong in therapy, and don't really want to do anything for the moment? Everybody's on their journey, and everybody, there's no judgment in that sense. But I really want to stress that you really need to be prepared to change your life. No other way around it. No other way around it. Okay, I cannot do your push-ups for you. So it's a 3-step process in my coaching. We cover your history, which is why it resembles therapy. This is very important, but very important for me. I take a truckload of notes. Nobody does this meticulous and thorough job as I do, but nobody, again, I've done my research and this is how I know. And specifically why I made sure, having done the research for the last 15 years, that my signature coaching program is unlike any other coaching program, which I stand by it and will stand by it forever. It works because it has helped already thousands of people. The second part is we process a lot of emotions. This is symbolic. It doesn't have to go, in this order, but we do start with your history. And this is because you need to emotionally detach from your past, drama, trauma, panorama. And finally, of course, I teach you manifestation, like I said, the energy work, how to get the best results in the quickest and the easiest and the fastest, mind you, way possible. Again, you are a mechanism, okay? You're not just a soul, you're not just a personality, but you also have a body, you have a mechanism, and this body energetically and chemically just remembers the drama, trauma, panorama that needs to be released. I talked about the discovery that they made in the 90s, early 90s, about how the heart contains brain cells. They didn't realize it until the early 90s. And the heart, there have been studies around this when they're doing transplants and all of a sudden somebody has, nightmares or visions and they're able to track down, criminals and things like that. So the heart remembers a lot. It's a storage of information. And what I see a lot in my coaching, parenthesis here, is a lot of people who have been misguided basically and derailed, therefore, by the drama, trauma, panorama that they've endured, unfortunately, during that childhood or sometime in their upbringing. And this is exactly what I work on with all of my clients. Now, why that is important is because time and time again, 99% of the time, I see a person in my coaching who has been misguided by the past programming of whoever, mom, dad, guardian, what have you, maybe uncles, aunts, etc., of a certain kind of ideas that, were completely just spoon-fed into your mind. Most of the time, if those ideas are destructive, they are not true. They're just not true. Okay, this is why they are destructive. They don't belong in your mechanism. And so you need to purge that. And time again, like I said, I see people in my coaching who are absolutely fucking magnificent. I'm truly in awe of you guys. I hope you know this. You just don't realize how much of a golden Buddha you are, which is a reference to your perfect state, to your genius state, to your magnificent status in the world, that you are one of a kind, baby. And you really should, it's about time. It's overdue for you to cash in on your golden Buddha status. You really are overdue in that sense. And time again, I see these clients in my coaching that simply don't know their worth. They've been so hypnotized by somebody, again, during their upbringing, that completely convinced them that they're somebody else, and they are not. And let me tell you what really just came to me right before I started recording this. It's because they saw who you are before you did. Okay, I had this I'm sure I talked about this on my channel because I share quite a bit, actually, now that I think about it, all for you guys to learn. I had this instance, let's just say, this memory that I have with this photographer. He's quite well known, but anyway, we're not gonna get into it. But when I was I don't know, I was probably like 20 or something like that, 21. We were sitting at a bar somewhere, a really posh place, and out of the blue, he just looks at me and he says to me, you don't realize who you are yet, but don't get upset when others do and mistreat you. I'm paraphrasing, but basically, you don't know who you are, but others already do. So pay attention, in other words, or they will mistreat you. Don't disrespect yourself. Don't play down your golden Buddha status. And I thought that was so interesting. And at the time, of course, I had no fucking idea what the fuck he was talking about. But this I want to say to you today, okay? The reason why you've been mistreated is because others saw who you are and you made them feel bad. They felt competitive with you, or jealousy, or even if it's your parent. I have it in my mother's case. Lots of you, that come into my coaching can relate. I know this. even though it's very hard to come to this, it's a very profound realization that nothing is wrong with you in that sense, and nothing ever was wrong with you. Somebody, like, can you imagine what kind of miserable and upset and misguided person it takes to convince another human being that something's wrong with them? Okay? But this is what a lot of parents do, all right? Unfortunately so. And like I said, a lot of these people's children now are in my coaching, and it's really, I'm really grateful that I can help because of my experience. I'm really to those who are willing again to accept. Now, before I get carried away, so this is the coaching. You need to sign the coaching agreement, and if you have any questions, please email me. Yesterday we had a live, and listen, you guys have to understand, I'm a very busy person, crazy busy. My weeks are insane, more than ever. Okay, I have 5 other businesses, and this, coaching is my passion project. This is how I started out, Magic and Miracles, etc., until it became a thing, and I decided to go with it being a thing. Although that's not what I had in mind. I seriously thought I was just going to stick to just talking about whatever, and keep it as my personal, like, journal or something. That's how I'm exaggerating, but I really did want to help people around COVID, and that's how the idea began. But basically, I didn't think of it as a thing, but now it is. And so I thought I made sure that we would go live and everything would be okay. But unfortunately, we couldn't see Katya um, at all, but we could hear her. So the live is a little bit wonky, but actually at the same time, I rewatched it, for the majority of it. And it's pretty fucking good, actually, because Katya and I, we have this chemistry. We kind of bounce off of each other. And I think it really helps to have this dialogue rather than, me mostly talking by myself all the time on my channel. Sometimes it helps bring out some things that maybe you guys are thinking and, are not voicing it or whatever. You can relate to that situation. So I do apologize. But the thing is, you'll be glad to know I figured it out last night with Katya. I stayed in my office till like 10 p.m. Holy shit, bananas. Saturday night, great, But I really wanted to make sure that the next time I go on, it's a pleasant experience for you guys. Everything I do is for you. It's like that song by Bryan Adams. I'm going to tweak it a little bit, but the discussion does start at 19 minutes and 32 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. But you know what? All of it, the banter, the whatever, the frustration that I couldn't get Katya to appear on the screen, all of it is wonderful. Go watch it if you haven't already, and kind of make it like your Sunday's routine if you're kind of like doing some things today. And I guess the thing that I really wanted and why I was inspired to record this in the first place was because, I do want to help as many people as I can, but I also want you to realize that you're already very capable. You're far more capable than you fucking realize. And this is why you have certain manifestations already, but just not the ones that you have mama drama panorama around. And I feel like that's what we do, in coaching, dropping that mama drama panorama for nobody's business for you to carry around anymore. And that's what the deal is. So, when you are serious about upgrading in your manifestational game, you've got some letting go of to do, whatever it happens to be. It's the biggest elephant in the room, shall we say. And sometimes people are very hesitant to address it because it's been too long, it hurts too much, blah, 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 blah. But that's the very thing you need to kind of sort of attack, in a sense. Those pesky beliefs and those assumptions about yourself, those ideas that are bogus, that will not let you manifest any further. It's just like a barricade in front of that desire, in front of, like, you can have it, but the barricade says, no, you got to deal with me first. So fucking deal with it first. You know what I mean? And don't make it such... it isn't about suffering. It isn't about hard work. I feel like very much it's acknowledging again that you're the one in charge. If you really just understand on a very profound level, and this is what I do in coaching, revisiting the past and noticing where your power was indeed exercised, but in a reverse direction kind of deal. Now you need to reverse engineer it based on what it is that you really want to accomplish. It's that simple, guys. It's dropping the idea that is somebody else's and really acknowledging. And it's uncomfortable, and meaning this is something brand new. You've never done this before. It's uncomfortable at first, but then you get used to the upgrade demands you being in the unknown for some time. But I mean, the unknown is very much known if you're orchestrating something to your liking. In other words, just like I said in live, there's so many different wonderful things that we said in the live. But if I say I want this guy back, then this guy is back. And if I don't put anything in front of it, if I don't start sabotaging my own creation and regurgitating. So you are a very good journalist of your past. It isn't that. But if you want to go into another world where your SP is yours, be prepared to drop the other reality. That's another one that I really wanted, again, to point out that I mentioned in live. And be, in quotations, selfish. Be selfish. Offer yourself this opportunity to enjoy your life. Like today is Sunday. Go do something for yourself. Go buy something for yourself. Go enjoy your time. Recharge your batteries, because this is your world. It operates off of your energy. It just completely, if you are depleted of energy, your manifestation suffers. So you need to plug the batteries and recharge. Today for a new week, for a new manifestation, for a new aha moment, for a new inspiration. And again, I want to stress, for whatever reason, I have, kind of like I'm inspired to address people who have been waiting for a long time for their manifestation. Again, don't blame anybody, much less yourself. It's just understand it's a realization away. I know this from experience. I know this for a fact with my own situation, with situations of many different clients. It takes sometimes, it's so subtle sometimes, where you realize this is why I'm doing this. And when awareness clicks in, then it becomes a choice. Now you are aware. And so it becomes a choice whether you want to persevere in the direction of your dream or opposing it with this some kind of bogus bullshit that your parents or whoever instilled in your mind. And I meant to, kind of like discuss this in the live. And you guys know my story and all this, but just want to illustrate this with my own example when I was a teenager. I think when you're a teenager, you're generally more rebellious and this and that, but I was much more so because I realized, like, literally my parents don't have their shit together. And I also noticed that, first of all, everything to my mother was no, you cannot do this. No, this is not acceptable, like stupid bullshit. And I've had other examples, in my family. Really just, if I was to kind of like explain how my family thinks, you think your family is narrow-minded? I mean, I don't even know what the word is for my family. Narrow-minded galore. They have a diploma in being narrow-minded, like on a plaque or something like that. Like really small thinkers, really just like forget even just enough and be grateful for that kind of bullshit. And of course it translated in their world, and I so wanted to run away from that and so wanted to be my own person, because early on there were examples like as early as 12 and 13, because I was around, I was living in Monaco, and I was around I met Claudia Schiffer there, like all these famous people, because whatever, my aunts knew people who knew people, this kind of bullshit. And I realized, like, wow, these people that, like how much fun to be them. I want to be just like you kind of deal. No, I didn't say that, but I was really inspired. That was a joke, relax. I'm actually scared of that when people tell me I want to be just like you. It really is creepy to me. No, don't be just like me, go be just like you. I have an allergy towards that expression by now. Anyway, seriously though, one day we'll talk about it. So, I really was inspired, and I knew for a fact that what my mom fed me, spoon fed me, or tried to at the very least, desperately. Like, I had this feeling, I don't know about you guys, but my mom being narcissistic, like, she displayed, obviously behavior from early on. And something in my gut just absolutely detested her because I knew that wasn't the truth. I knew what she was spewing at me was not reality. It was so horrible what she was saying, so horrible what she was doing, that I was like, this cannot be everything. Okay. So like, you're dealing with your fears or insecurities, you gotta like reject them in the same manner. Like, you are full of shit. I'm rejecting you because you're stupid. Okay? This is not the answer. And basically to say that that gave me courage. An example in others gave me courage to actually ask for what I want. A lot of you don't want other people's lives. You really fucking don't. You just want what you want. Even the pressure of getting married, like in some women I hear this, like, I want to be married already and this and that. Okay, even that, how much of this is your own? Okay, where is this like kind of like morbid pressure going into your mind, like over and over, massaged by your mother, I'm sure, or father, or the both combined? Like, where is this really coming from? Is this really your own? Okay, I felt like I was under the pressure to get married in when I got married, 28 or 29 I was, for the second time. And look what happened. I shouldn't have gotten married. I should get married on my own fucking terms. And this is what I'm doing now. And I really suggest, and it doesn't have to take years, but as long as you realize that you would rather have this world custom made to your desires and not to your mama drama panorama fears and insecurities, that's the thing. And what happened was absolutely magical. Somehow I really gave myself permission, and which is what I'm encouraging you, all of you, to do, to break out of that system that you don't belong in. And it is a fucking system, okay? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a system. It just like regurgitates the same bullshit, Groundhog Day and blah, blah, blah. You got to break out of this. So you got to be radical about your thinking, your actions. Always act on your desire. Don't just sit there and meditate for 8 hours. Okay, I've heard all sorts of stories in my coaching. Like, how is that going to help you? Okay, meditate, but then like get on with your life and start acting towards that desire. But what they did for me, like refuting my mother and completely just like, no, you don't know anything. You're a really crazy person who, I don't know, is so unhappy, and you're making me unhappy. And so every single thing that she said that I couldn't do, and there were other family members, etc., I fucking did it and took pictures, as they said. And my mother, I know she fucking hates me for this till this day, because every single thing that my sister then, became like my mother, oh man, that was a waste of a good personality. But anyway, she started out good, I promise. She was really funny and really cute. But anyway, every single thing that they really threw at me for no other reason other than I was different than them and I chose a different path other than regurgitating the same fucking bullshit, okay, for a millennia, they really were uncomfortable with it. But I proved them wrong. And how can you argue against evidence? Break away from, just like I said in the live, break away from your regular pattern of thinking for even a week or 10 days. Watch what's gonna happen. Just allow yourself. Okay, again, do you know what it feels like? I mean, I guess that's what, I'm kind of like slowly concluding what people are getting on top of, the teachings and the coaching and my coaching. But they also get my energy, because it really helps to be around a person who already did what they're trying to do and speaks from experience. And also this energy of like, you're unlimited. When you're in the presence of a person who thinks in this way, you feed off of this energy, you get really accelerated and really inspired. And so the moments that I've had with people that I was absolutely fascinated with, and then, in modeling, etc., I met amazing people, like really just that completely broke down my, barricades and other bogus ideas still. The one idea that I really did need to work on is my mother. And that, like I said, it's one thing. it's just one kind of idea in your mind that you're still not kind of accepting. And maybe, but just maybe, that means that one of your parents was absolutely full of shit and told you wrong. I don't care. Yeah, you can love them, this and that. But what you do need, it's worth acknowledging that your parents were full of shit, that they are actually working against you, whether, maliciously or benevolently, that does not even matter. You need to respect your own choices, your own desires, and continue on this trajectory of I am breaking out of this pattern. Otherwise, my life will look like my parents. Hello, good morning, how are you? And you don't fucking want that. And some of you I talk to, and your parents, you may be like, well along in your life, in your years, and your parents still don't fucking understand you. So then what? What I say to that? Fuck it. It's your life. You're going to live it the way that you want to. You don't owe anybody appeasement. You don't owe anybody an apology. You don't owe anybody an explanation why you are the person that you choose to be. That you are a golden Buddha and that you belong being a golden Buddha. And that a golden Buddha doesn't have these barricades, doesn't have these chains of the past, doesn't appease, doesn't people please, doesn't chase, just commands and receives. That's what the fuck needs to settle in. And all of these things, the acceptance needs to come that how you've lived thus far, there's something wrong with this picture. There's something wrong with the way you understand things. And if you set it in perspective, you will understand most certainly that there's something special about you. Okay, you're a superstar. There's something special about you. And it was your parents' job to recognize what a fucking marvelous creator you are. You were born to be a creator. I don't have any children, but when and if I'll have them, I don't know, I haven't made up my mind yet. I most certainly will teach them, hey, this is your world. Do whatever the fuck you please. Just don't hurt people. Be creative, be this, be that, support, I would support them like 100,000,000%. Do this for yourself today. Be a supporter of your dreams and break out of this pattern and break out of the thinking that, like, if a thought occurs to you, no, you can't do it. No, you belong, without money or whatever the fuck kind of bullshit that circulates in your mind. It's like, no. What good did this bring me? Only failure because I'm working against my golden Buddha status. So then let me try a different fucking way. It isn't hard. Doesn't matter that I waited long. Maybe it didn't click in maybe for all this time. Maybe that's the reason. Have you even thought of that? It isn't that God or universe doesn't want you to have your desire. It's that something has yet to click in your mind that once it does, the whole system will be rebooted to the golden status, to the golden Buddha status. Period. The end. And then the thing becomes quite simple, may I tell you? Okay. And I've been thinking in this way, since I was 13, because like I said, I had nobody to guide me. I just had my imagination and my desires. And again, people that I've met along the way that were really inspirational to me and showed me that there was a different fucking way to do. Otherwise, I would, who knows what would happen to me. And it truly, I want to say also, doesn't matter at all what age you are now. Any work you do, parenthesis here, on yourself does get carried over to the next life, if you believe that. And you really should, because the soul always survives. I mean, it never ends. I mean, within one lifetime, you get to also live different lives. Okay, I know that I have for sure and continue to do so. So any progress that you make does get carried over, and it's not, again, doesn't matter what age you are, as long as you arrive at this realization that holy shit bananas, I am in charge, and the one and only person that I should trust, and I'm going to explain, so don't freak out, one and only person that I should trust as far as what is going to happen next is myself. It doesn't mean that you're not going to trust other people, like your HP and this and that, but maybe trust isn't the right word, but the reliance or the kind of like the authority that you have over this reality that you're living in and any other reality that you will live in, It's up to you and up to you only. And that trust comes from the understanding that, wait a minute, I bought into some kind of other bogus church, if you will. This is the church of me. This is the church of me now. So I'm not going to fear, I'm not going to doubt, I'm not going to have insecurities because it's me. It's me who's ruling the world. Okay, so what do I have to question? What do I have to fear? As long as I'm honest with myself, like I also said in the live, about what I feel, I'm on track. Meaning I have the mechanism is responding back to me if I am in the right reality or if I am in the wrong reality. Simple like that. And if I happen to be in the wrong reality, then I should have a plan, a very simple, elegant, but very kind of like practical and effective plan how to take myself out of it. And this is when I talk, simple things that raise your vibration, bubble bath, this and that, shopping, blah, blah, blah. Very effective, by the way. I mean, you know it, I know it. To raise your mood and then create from that energy, you will be, unbeatable, unsurpassable. You will be one of a kind, which is what you're supposed to do. And notice how it's all about you and there's nobody else that essentially has the say. You're not disrespecting anybody, and you're also not worrying about what other people are doing or saying. If you're not hurting anybody, if you're not being malicious and this and that and trying to get on over, which you don't need to do. If you really understand manifestation, which I feel like this is why I feel like in manifestation circles specifically, which was a shock to me, I'm not gonna lie, that there are people that are profusely jealous and really just acting, I don't know, really just vulgar, I would say is the word, because of the jealousy. This is what people don't understand, that you don't need to be. It's your world. You get everything, and everybody's in their own world. Everybody gets their goodies, regardless what the other person is doing, kind of deal. Now, of course, we know the law of karma. What you do always comes back, good and bad. And in the case of bad, I have to say, it returns multiplied, just like good, in effect. But if you're not hurting anybody and you're not wishing anybody ill, very important, okay? By the way, parenthesis here, I've never wished my opponents or enemies, if you want, enemy is a big word, but, people who try to do something, never wish them ill. Never. I don't care to. I know how this universe operates, and you really should also allow yourself, again, the opportunity to shed all of that resentment if you have any today. It doesn't serve you. It serves you not. You're moving on the greatest and the highest and the best and the most magnificent timeline. Why the fuck would you bring that old shit with you? And chances are, just like I said, I had this, well, I kind of knew this already all along, but all the people that fucked you over, even when you come to this conclusion that, yes, it was my parents or my mom or my father or this one or the other one that really did me dirty. All of these people, though, they really did contribute to your success if you really break it down and look at it. So really, really, it's not resentment you owe them. It really is like a thank you. Thank you so much. Number one, because I definitely, you showed me who I don't want to be, what I want to stay away from, but also how strong I am, and everything that people inevitably did to try to harm you, it turned in your favor, one way or the other. And if you really look at your history, if you're able to look through the prism, and again, this is a belief changeover, if you're able to look at the prism, through the prism of everything is to benefit me, and if you have that belief, which inevitably, it's already the truth, so you might as well get on the wagon, then it becomes like, wow, this overwhelming, pure, magnificent, magnetic gratitude. And again, like we talked in live with Katya, go watch it. Gratitude is a mega power. I know it's, people talk about it endlessly and this and that, but this is why. Gratitude can make you wealthy, successful, in love, with, the person is here, everything is fine. It's crazy what happens. It's a changeover over world. So this is your job, to transmute, to be the alchemist of shed. Now I'm becoming the alchemist, and I'm actually even making the shed work in my favor, which inevitably it already did. So all of this, what I just said, really just encompasses the one and only person that's in charge, you. Okay, just you. It's the law of you. It's the power of you. It's the magic of you. It's you are a magician. You're the one who's in charge. So claim that fucking power and leave those shackles behind and get on the journey of creating something absolutely unprecedented. And that's kind of what we discussed in the live. It was called Glitch Your SP Back into Your Reality. Go watch it. It's a little bit long, but we did have a really good time and a lot of fun. And like I said, next time I will know exactly what to do. I just needed to do. It was literally like a little box I needed to check. That of course, during live I was so overwhelmed that I couldn't find it. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. Comment below if it resonated or your thoughts, ideas. If you have any questions, again, as far as coaching is concerned, do email me privately with any questions you might have before booking. Thank you so much, and until the next. Ciao, ciao.